Hey guys, and welcome back to the 12 Days of Crochet Christmas. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing quick, beginner-friendly patterns that are perfect for gifting or decorating your house during the holidays. Today we're going to learn how to make this easy crochet shawl for beginners. If you're excited about the 12 Days of Crochet Christmas, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single pattern. For today's tutorial, you will need 3 balls of this Caron Colorama Ogo, an 8mm hook, a tapestry needle, and a pair of scissors. If you've never worked with Ogo yarn before, it works a little bit different than regular skein. So I'm just going to show you how to take it apart. The first thing you have to do is pull apart these pieces here, and you'll see this plastic tie that you need to cut off. So pull it apart, grab your scissors, and just snip. And now to get started, we're going to pull from this side. Now I really like that this yarn is essentially tangle-free. However, I have noticed when working with it that if you don't keep it together, it's very hard to untangle. So I have a 2-year-old, if you haven't seen him already, and he has gotten a hold of this and pulled it apart so that each of these colors have fallen off. And it took me hours to get it put back together. So just be careful whenever you're working with this. Now to get started with this easy crochet shawl, we're first going to create a slip knot, insert your hook, and chain 37. Now for row 1, we're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from your hook. So remember that a double crochet in the US is a treble crochet in the UK. So to double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that 3rd chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's your first double crochet. Now we're just going to double crochet in each chain across. And here is our next chain. And then our next chain is right here. So just continue double crocheting in each chain across. So for row 1, we just double crocheted in each chain across. Now for row 2, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work and double crochet in between the posts of the double crochet from the previous round. So we're not going into the top of the stitch, we're going right in between those posts. So insert your hook into the middle and create a double crochet as normal. Now the next 2 double crochet are here, and again we're just going to double crochet in between these 2 posts here. So insert your hook in between those posts and double crochet. So just continue double crocheting in between the posts from the previous row, and I'll meet you at the end of row 2. Now once you reach the end of the row, you'll have your last double crochet and then your chain 2 from the previous round. You'll want to place your last double crochet in between both of those. And you're finished with row 2. For row 3, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work, and you're just going to repeat row 2. So double crochet in between your first 2 double crochet from the previous round, and in between each post across this row and every row forward. And that's what makes this rectangle shawl so easy. It's perfect for beginners, but also fun to make and super cozy when it's finished. And one thing that I really love about this yarn is that it changes colors for you as you go. Now it might bother you to have a color change in the middle of the row, but it doesn't bother me personally, so I chose to leave it. But if it does bother you, you can always go back to the beginning of the row, cut your yarn, and then change your yarn color at the beginning of the row if you want things to look more even. Now you're just going to continue repeating row 2 until you're all finished up with all 3 of your Ogo skeins, or until you reach about 71 inches. When you're ready to add on a new ball of yarn, you can either add it on in the middle of the row, leaving yourself at least a long tail to weave in your ends later, or if you know you're about to run out of yarn in the middle of the row, you can go ahead and attach it at the beginning of the round. I'm just going to go ahead and attach it from the middle of the row. So go ahead and make your next double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to stop right there. Grab your new strand and pull it through the last 2 loops to finish that double crochet. Then go ahead and start working with your new color. And then you'll want to, of course, weave in your ends later. So at this point, I'm already on my 3rd ball of yarn, and this is what my work is starting to look like. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm realizing that the striping that I have right now is totally off. After the lighter brown color, it's supposed to be gray, as you can see down here. So after the light brown color, it goes into gray and then into white and then back to the dark brown. So if this happens to you, you can frog this work, and because of the way that this whole cake is laid out, you can just roll each of these colors into balls and start the next color that you want. So in my case, I would go ahead and frog all of this and maybe start at the lighter brown color, because then it would go back into its normal color scheme. So this yarn does make it really easy to take apart your cake and use whichever colors that you want to use. I wasn't originally planning to show myself or my entire setup for this video, but because I came across this trouble with my yarn, I wanted to show you how I would find the solution for it. So I'm going to quickly show you how you can make your own little cakes from your Ogo yarn. All of this here is what I've already pulled off from this side. So again, since we want to use our lighter brown color, I'm going to wind all of this before that color into a ball. So first, let's find the end of this yarn. And then I'm going to wind it through here. And if you don't have a ball winder, you can go ahead and just use your hands and wind it up into a ball. But I'm going to use this because it's faster and I just love it. You want to make sure that it's not tangly before you get started. Okay, so our new color starts right about here. So I'm going to cut my yarn right there. And then this is my first little cake. I'm going to place that over there and start with my next color. Oops. And once you reach the Ogo yarn, it's really simple to just unravel it, as you can see. I'm going to stop right here, because you can see that we've just changed to our new color. So again, snip your yarn, and there you have it. Our second ball of yarn. So now we've reached the point where this is the color that I want to start with for my shawl, since that's what we left off on. So this is where I want to start whenever I add on my new color. And then I'll go through all of these colors, and once I reach white, I'll probably tie on a little bit more white because there's a little bit of each, and then I'll end with my brown yarn. All right, that's it for that quick tutorial. Let's get back to the shawl. All right, so now that I finally have all my colors figured out, we are just about ready to wrap up this shawl. So on your last row, go ahead and cut your yarn, leaving a long tail to sew in your ends. Yarn over and pull that strand through. and then you're going to weave in all of your ends. Okay, so now that we're finally finished with the actual shawl portion, we're going to add a little flair by tying on some fringe. I ended with my white yarn and was left over with all of this brown yarn. So this is what I'm going to use to create the fringe. So first, flip your shawl all the way around, and you'll do this for each side. So now you will need to cut 70 strands that are about 17 inches long. And this is what we're going to use to tie on the fringe. And you're just going to do that 70 times. And now that we have all of our strands, we're going to grab our hook, and starting from this side, or the other side, it doesn't matter, insert your hook in between these two posts, just like this. And you want to make sure that it's folded in half evenly. Then grab the strand with your hook, pull it through, then yarn over your hook, and pull it through the loop on your hook. And that's your first piece of fringe. Now insert your hook in between the next two double crochet posts. Grab your fringe, fold it so that it's even, and pull it through. Then yarn over and pull it through that loop. And you're just going to continue adding fringe this way in between each double crochet post. So once you're finished with this side, go ahead and do the other side, weave in any unwoven ends, and you're finished with your easy rectangle shawl. I truly hope you enjoyed making this pattern today. Tag me on Instagram at Sigoni Macaroni or inside the Facebook group with all of your makes. And remember that over the next few days, I'm going to be sharing a quick beginner-friendly giftable pattern for the 12 Days of Crochet Christmas. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single pattern. I'll see you in the next one.